The story shifts to London, England, where aged Nathan meets with director KH for a high-stakes briefing. A critical shipment was stolen 2 nights ago, and recovering it is of utmost importance. When Director Khan asks what the shipment contained, Nathan admits he doesn't know the full details, only that it's being sold on the black market for a staggering $10 billion. Drawing the attention of high-profile terrorist groups. Recognizing their urgency, Director KH grants Nathan full authority to assemble a team and use any means necessary to retrieve the item, codenamed the Handle. Nathan's first move is to recruit Orson, one of the finest agents in the field. Although he's been a bit erratic and unstable in recent years, developing odd phobias and indulging in an extravagant vacation lifestyle, Nathan doesn't hesitate the next day. He heads to Morocco to meet Orson, reminding him that after blowing over $2 million on luxury getaways, it's time to earn those comforts. Orson agrees, on one condition: his lavish lifestyle stays untouched. From there, they fly straight to Madrid to link up with the rest of the team. JJ and Sarah. The team springs into action, zeroing in on a man carrying a disc with vital information about the artifact. Sarah directs Jane to tail the target while the others set up for an ambush. But the plan takes a turn. Jane walks right into a trap, revealing that they're not the only ones on this mission. As Jane is taken out, the rest of the team is picked off one by one. In an instant, the mission unravels and chaos takes hold. Orson quickly identifies the intruder's tactics and alerts the team, suspecting that his former colleagues, Mike and John, who've since turned traitor, might be close. He becomes the next target. But staying one step ahead, Orson takes out 2 assailants and signals JJ to assist. Working together, they neutralize the attackers trying to seize the target. They manage to escape, though not without being chased. During the chase, Sarah successfully copies the entire disk with Nathan's assistance. Despite this, the team finds themselves surrounded by Mike's men. Enraged that their target died of a heart attack mid-pursuit, the disk ends up split into 2 parts, one containing a specific location and time, the other heavily encrypted, even beyond Sarah's capabilities. To move forward, Nathan decides to pose as the deceased man in order to meet the buyer, identified via facial recognition as Ben Harris, a known associate of the infamous arms dealer Greg Simon, someone notoriously difficult to get close to. The only way to meet Greg in person is by scoring an invitation to one of his exclusive parties. To make that happen, the team recruits Danny, a well-known actor and an admirer of Greg. They strong-arm him into helping by threatening to leak incriminating footage captured by Sarah from his phone, showing him with his sister-in-law. Surprisingly, the plan works even better than they had hoped. When Greg finds out that Danny will be in France, he sends over a party invitation along with a $10 million check, clearly revealing his status as a devoted fan at the party. Danny wins Greg over with his charm, giving the team the chance to observe that Greg's assistant handles his phone. Sarah needs to get close to her, but the situation takes a turn when Mike shows up, crashing the event. A tense race unfolds between Orson and Mike to reach the phone first, while Sarah tries to clone it from a short distance. Just as things seem to be on track, John, Mike's partner, appears, threatening to blow their cover. Orson engages in a fierce battle upstairs with one of Mike's seemingly unstoppable henchmen, eventually managing to take him down once Sarah finishes cloning the phone. The team makes a quick getaway. Sarah's skills prove invaluable. She had already planted several microphones in Greg's office. Through the surveillance, the team listens in on Greg's conversation with Alexander, a Russian mob boss who currently holds the Handle, asking him to locate a buyer for the artifact. Frustrated by yet another disruption from Mike, this being the second time, Nathan contacts Director KH to verify whether there's suspecting a possible mole within the agency leaking intel. The team's next move is to infiltrate the Russian base and install tracking software on their computers. This will allow them to trace the artifact's location or the site of its upcoming sale. Before leaving, Orson steals a few items to stage the scene as a typical burglary, diverting attention from the real objective. The next morning, Sarah learns that Greg is headed to Turkey to meet with a contact named Kassan, who claims to have found a buyer for the artifact. This sets the stage for Danny to step in again, this time with Sarah posing as his girlfriend. Knowing Greg has a habit of pursuing his friends' partners, as soon as Danny casually mentions he's dating Sarah, Greg begins flirting with her, even going so far as to gift her a car from his collection. Meanwhile, Orson and JJ shadow Kassan, who's just arrived, but things quickly get complicated. They soon realize that Mike is also tailing Kassan. When Kassan departs, he deliberately leaves behind a newspaper, which Ben retrieves. Sensing a lead, Orson shifts focus and decides to follow Ben instead. After taking out Ben's bodyguard, he chases Ben through the city's bustling markets, pursuing him on a motorcycle. Ben reaches an elevator, but Orson is forced to take the stairs to keep his signal jammer running. If Ben's phone regains signal, Danny and Sarah could be in grave danger. When Orson finally reaches the top, Ben ambushes him, and after a brutal struggle, Orson kills him inside the newspaper. They discover the key to decrypt the disk, revealing the shocking truth. The artifact is an AI, capable of breaching any nation's nuclear missile systems. However, the AI requires an activation code, which Orson must now obtain by impersonating Ben. The challenge lies in the fact that Orson needs to communicate with Greg during the DU. To make this work, Sarah will monitor the call and use real-time voice-altering software to replicate Ben's voice. At the meeting point, the team finally meets the buyer, the man willing to pay $10 million for the handle. When Orson makes the call, Sarah's software works flawlessly, fooling Greg into revealing the activation code. Orson now has everything he needs, but the Russians begin to grow suspicious. Just as tensions rise, $10 billion intended for the deal vanishes from Greg's account, triggering alarms. Guns are immediately pointed at Orson's head, and JJ takes swift action, sparking a gunfight. Seizing the opportunity, Orson steals a car containing the artifact while the team warns Sarah to leave the mansion. Predictably, chaos ensues. As expected, Mike arrives with a helicopter armed to the teeth, wiping out the Russians and sending his men after Orson, determined to stop him from keeping the handle. Danny manages to hotwire a car, and while Sarah heads to the garage, Greg confronts her, making an advance. Fortunately, he doesn't suspect anything. By the time security alerts Greg to the chaos unfolding, Danny and Sarah have already made their escape, setting off another high-speed pursuit. Meanwhile, Mike takes control of the situation, overpowering the Russians and securing the artifact. Just as his helicopter takes off, JJ lands a crucial shot, saving Orson. Meanwhile, Danny is forced to pull off some real-life movie stunts, dodging a barrage of bullets while speeding down the road. As the chase intensifies, Sarah proves her skills go far beyond just computers. As Danny prepares to play his part in getting them out safely, Orson arrives just in time with a helicopter firing missiles to clear their path. Once the team is secure, Nathan informs them that Mike has defected from the rival agency and plans to use the artifact for his own gain. With few options left, Orson decides to confront Greg. Sarah confronts Greg, revealing that she has stolen all of his clients' data and secrets from his server. Cornered, Greg reluctantly agrees to cooperate, divulging Mike's plan for the artifact. He explains that Trent and Arnold, who were at the boat party but kept a low profile, control 90% of the world's gold supply. Their goal is to reprogram the AI within the handle to establish global dominance. The grid failure plunges the world into a new dark age, where gold becomes the sole currency and Trent and Arnold position themselves as the new rulers of the world. That night, Orson and the team spring into action. Using Greg and Danny as bait, Greg's status as a globally infamous criminal puts Danny's acting skills to the test. Greg quickly reminds Trent and Arnold that he hasn't received his $1 billion commission from the deal. With arrogance, they dismiss his demands, claiming that since Mike completed the job, the commission belongs to him. Greg calmly counters, stating he traveled a long way for his money. And just before things escalate, he requests a brief moment for a demonstration. Suddenly, missiles begin raining down, destroying their communication towers. Calmly, Greg instructs Danny to distribute documents containing the names and locations of all their families, including Mike's. Before leaving, Greg warns them that unless he receives a transfer, each person on that list will be struck by a missile within 90 seconds. When Mike realizes he's about to lose his commission, his alliance with Trent and Arnold falls apart, leading to a confrontation. In a surprising twist, Mike calms down and allows them to make the transfer, but unbeknownst to them, he's cloning their passwords in real time. Once his tech expert confirms control over their accounts, Mike orders their execution. By the time Orson reaches the top floor, everyone is dead except Mike, who attempts a surprise attack. After a swift, decisive strike, Orson secures the artifact, once again saving the world. Jay and Sarah arrive just in time to extract Orson before reinforcements show up. The next day, Orson delivers the artifact to Nathan, who informs the team that Greg has vanished with the $1 billion. However, Nathan also informs the team that Danny is safe and is currently shooting a movie with Greg as the director. The team plans to visit the set, bringing some of the money they earned from the jewels they took from the Russians. The movie ends with Danny mimicking Greg's iconic performance for his next role, with Greg himself directing. If you enjoyed this recap, like, share, and subscribe to follow us for more movie recaps.